One very good thing about the Abuja real estate sector is the fact that you can understand the sector as quickly as you can if you decide to pay attention to certain details. And in this video, I'll be showing you how, as an investor, you should carry out your due diligence so that you don't fall prey to scams that can easily be fallen into as a result of neglecting certain things that you need to pay attention to before investing in a property. Like I said earlier, the sector is straightforward, but as much as it is straightforward, you can easily get scammed if you don't pay attention to certain details. And some of those details is what I'm going to be showing you in this video. My name is Ibi Victoria Abuja for Right Out, and I bring you nothing but the absolute best of real estate right here in the city of Abuja that is safe, secured, and guaranteed to give you huge returns on your investment. So if you are coming across this page for the first time, do well to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Turn on the notification bell so that you get information like this when I share them on this channel. So like I said earlier, one thing is very important when investing in the city of Abuja, and that's due diligence. Now, beyond doing the due diligence to checking out the title, knowing the location of the land, going for inspection, and everything in between, there are 5 things you should pay attention to. The first question you should ask yourself beyond viewing or seeing the title of the land is to confirm where that land title is coming from. What is the origin of this title? That is one thing you should be able or find a way to trace back, because it is not just about the person who is holding that title. You must understand the origin, where it is coming from. Is he the first allottee or the second allottee of that particular property? You need to know. And what is the relationship, if he is not the first allottee, between him and the first allottee? That is very important, because if this is not clarified, you may end up buying a property or investing in a property that the person who is selling to you is not the rightful owner of that land. That means somebody can hold the original document of a particular property, but they are not the rightful custodians of that property. So it is important to be able to trace the origin of a particular title before investing in that property. The second question you must ask yourself and pay attention to is who is selling this land. This speaks to the identity of a person. It has to do with the authenticity of that person, the capacity of that person to be able to sell that land to you. Is he the owner? Is he mandated to sell the land? If he's not the owner and is mandated to sell the land, what is the document that is backing that person to be able to sell that land? So if the identity of the person selling the land to you is not clear, then that particular transaction is questionable. Because if he's not the original owner, there must be a document that is backing his claim and authorizing him to be able to sell that land. If you don't have that document or have that clarification, then you should be wary of that particular transaction, because at the end of the day, you may end up just buying a property from the wrong person. And at the end of the day, when the original owner of that particular property comes, then we begin to hear cases of cuts here and there, and you may end up losing that transaction or losing that investment if care is not taken. The third question you should ask yourself is, does the person have the capacity to own it? Now, this may look like a very unnecessary question, but it is a very important question. Now, there are people in Abuja who, for some reasons, they have access to certain kind of properties, and it is understandable because of who they are, their personality, their position in society, and several other things can give them that privilege and access to certain kind of properties. But if a person who you look at the identity of that person doesn't meet certain criteria or doesn't look like certain things, then it is important you question that particular investment, because somebody cannot just wake up and own 100 hectares of land in Abuja from nowhere. There must be a background, there must be an origin, there must be somewhere you are coming from to be able to own a particular kind of land in Abuja. Is it a direct allocation? Was it bought? Was it transferred? And all of that. So the identity of the person you are buying a particular property from or investing in a particular property with, you must understand who they are, where they are coming from, what gave them that property, how they acquired it, and all of that. We've heard of cases recently in the city of Abuja where certain properties were revoked as a result of certain kind of lifestyle. And also it is important, like I said, to understand and their capacity to own certain kind of properties before you invest in that particular property. The fourth question you should ask is, does this person have the capacity to sell? That is, this person I want to transact with, does he have the authority to sell this particular property that he is offering to me? Now, someone may ask, how will somebody have a property and not have the capacity to sell that property? Yes, someone might own an ancestral land, and the clause around it may be that that land should not be sold, it should be developed, or it should be transferred to the next generation. It could be a family land, whatever. Something can just be limiting the capacity of that person to sell that particular property. So you must go beyond just seeing the person having the right to that property to understand if the person has the capacity to put that particular property out for sale. This is just so you don't encounter certain kind of issues in the future when it is time for you to develop or it's time for you to take ownership of that property. So you must be clear and be sure that this person you are transacting with, the company or whoever it is, has the capacity to actually sell that particular plot that they are presenting to you. And the fifth and the final question, or the fifth and the final area you should look into before investing in any land within the city of Abuja is, does this person have the authority to sell? Just like I said in the beginning of this video, the fact that you have the original document of a particular property doesn't give you the right or gives you the authority to be able to sell that particular property. This is because there are people who are in possession of other person's documents, and the fact that they are in possession does not mean that they own the property. That means that for you to be able to transact with that person, there must be an authority backing that person to be able to sell that land. So for somebody to have the authority to sell, there must be a power of attorney that backs that person to be able to execute that transaction. So if this is not in place, then you should be wary of that transaction and be sure that if you get into that transaction without considering these things, you may end up having issues with your transaction in the future. This is where I'll be ending this for today. So if you're interested in investing in the city of Abuja, these are areas you should look out for so you don't fall prey to scams in the city that could easily would have been prevented. So if you are looking at investing in the city of Abuja in secured and safe properties, do well to reach out to the numbers showing on your screen. Once again, my name is Ibi Victor, your Abuja favorite realtor, and as always, I bring the absolute best of real estate in the city of Abuja that is safe, secured, and guaranteed to bring you huge returns on your investment. Remember to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that you get more information like this when we share them on this channel. Until I come your way again, bye.